So yesterday I posted a video on prolonged labor and how it can be dangerous for a baby, especially when the fetal heart strip starts to show signs of what we call fetal distress. After that video, I received some questions offline from moms asking the same hard question. Why didn't they do a C-section when my baby was clearly in trouble? Why did they wait? That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about that today. So I speak with families across the country whose babies have been diagnosed with HIE after birth. And many of these parents remember the moment during labor when something shifted during this entire process. Maybe the baby's heart rate kept dipping. Maybe there were whispers or sudden tension in the room. Maybe the nurses came in and out, but no one said much. And then the baby was born and something was clearly wrong. And the moms, they knew it. Now there's an HIE diagnosis and possibly a subsequent CP diagnosis coming later, and the question keeps coming back. Why didn't they act? Why didn't they do something when my baby was in distress? So what I want to do today is let's talk about what's supposed to happen when a baby is not tolerating labor. Fetal heart monitoring is one of the main tools that's used to track how well your baby is doing. A strip that's called non-reassuring usually means that the baby might not be getting enough oxygen, and that can show up in a lot of ways. You might see late decelerations, you may see absent variability, or the baby's heart rate dropping and not recovering after mom's contractions. These patterns are not just some things that happen sometimes. They can be warning signs that your baby might be struggling. And doctors, they are trained to respond to these patterns. The first step that they're usually going to take is going to be something conservative. They may stop Pitocin, or they may move the mother into a different position, or they may give fluids or oxygen. The idea is to try to improve blood flow and oxygen to the baby. But here is where the problems come up, and that I see in a lot of cases. The baby isn't improving. The strip still looks bad, and the team keeps waiting. Instead of moving towards delivery, they keep trying the same things, hoping that the baby is going to bounce back. And all that time, the baby may not be getting enough oxygen during all of that. And what can make this even harder for the mothers that I speak with is this. These moms are not moms who would refuse a C-section if they knew that their baby's life was at risk. If a doctor said to them clearly, we need to deliver your baby now to protect your baby, they're going to say yes, and they're not going to hesitate. But in many of these situations and in many of these conversations, that never really happens in a clear or direct way. Instead of saying, we need to do a C-section now, the tone is still more about waiting or about seeing if things will improve. And in the middle of that uncertainty, time is lost, valuable time. Now, I want to take this time and I want to talk about something else that a lot of people don't realize. Nurses have a responsibility here with all of this too. They aren't just standing by. They're watching that monitor, and if they see something is wrong and the doctor is not responding in a way that they should, the nurses are expected to speak up. There is something that we call going up the chain of command. And what that means is that if the nurse thinks that the doctors are waiting too long, or they are supposed to notify someone higher, like a charge nurse or a nurse manager or even a hospital supervisor if that is necessary. It's not about creating conflict with all of this. It's about protecting the baby and protecting the mom. But in some of these cases, no one speaks up. Everybody just sits around and waits. And the baby stays in distress for too long. And that's when these type of injuries can happen. HIE, or hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy, is a brain injury that's caused by a lack of oxygen and blood flow in our context. And when an injury is severe, it can lead to long-term challenges, including CP. So if you've been asking yourself, why didn't the C-section happen when things looked like they were going wrong? That is a valid question with all of this. A review of the medical records may show whether there were warning signs, whether there were interventions, whether the interventions were working, and whether the team took the appropriate action based on everything. You're not wrong for wanting answers. And asking that question is often the first step towards understanding what really happened with all of this. Again, I'm Marcus Boston. If you have any other questions about your baby's HIE brain injury at birth or subsequent CP diagnosis from a medical legal standpoint, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. You can find out more information about me if you check my profile. My information is there. If you're watching this video on certain types of apps, you can reach out and contact me through a DM, and we could chat a little bit about your baby's story, or you can just wait and watch the picture that follows the end of this video. All right, that's going to be it for this afternoon's quick educational video. Have a great day, everybody.